Genesis 50, the death of Jacob and the legacy of Joseph. A tale of grief, forgiveness, loyalty, and God's greater purpose. Don't miss this moment of legacy and love. Like, share, and follow for more inspiring Bible summaries. Let's keep the journey going. Joseph threw himself on his father, wept over him, and kissed him. Joseph then instructed the physicians in his employ to embalm his father. The embalming took 40 days, the period required for embalming. The Egyptians mourned publicly for 70 days. When the period of mourning ended, Joseph approached Pharaoh's court and asked permission to fulfill a promise to his father. Jacob had made Joseph swear to bury him in the burial site he had prepared in Canaan. Joseph requested permission to go bury his father, assuring Pharaoh that he would return afterward. Pharaoh agreed, saying, "Certainly. Go and bury your father as he made you promise under oath." Joseph went up to bury his father, accompanied by all the high-ranking officials of Pharaoh's court and the dignitaries of Egypt, along with his brothers and his father's household. The children and livestock were left behind in Goshen. Chariots and horsemen went with them, forming a great procession. When they arrived at the Atad threshing floor near the Jordan River, they paused for a time of mourning. Joseph led a 7-day funeral observance with loud and intense lamentation. The Canaanites in the area took notice and said, "Look how deeply the Egyptians are mourning." Because of this, the place was named Abel Mizraim, meaning Egyptian lament. Jacob's sons fulfilled his instructions exactly. They carried him to Canaan and buried him in the cave in the field of Machpelah, facing Mamre. This was the burial site Abraham had bought from Ephron the Hittite. After burying Jacob, Joseph and his brothers returned to Egypt. But the brothers became fearful, thinking Joseph might still hold a grudge for the wrongs they had done to him. They sent him a message. "Before he died, your father said, 'Tell Joseph to forgive his brother's sin, all their wrongdoing. They treated you badly, please forgive them.'" When Joseph received this message, he wept. Then his brothers came in person. They bowed before him and said, "We'll be your slaves." But Joseph responded gently, "Don't be afraid. Do I act for God? You planned evil against me, but God used those same plans for good, as you can see, to preserve many lives. Don't worry, I will take care of you and your children." He comforted them, speaking sincerely to their hearts. Joseph continued to live in Egypt with his family. He lived to be 110 years old and saw 3 generations of Ephraim's children. The children of Machir, son of Manasseh, were also acknowledged by him. At the end of his life, Joseph said to his brothers, "I'm about to die, but God will surely come to help you and bring you out of this land to the land he promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." He made them swear, "When God comes to your aid, take my bones with you from here." Joseph died at the age of 110. He was embalmed and placed in a coffin in Egypt. Lessons learned. 1. Grief and honor. Mourning is a powerful expression of love and respect. Joseph's public grief for Jacob, along with the elaborate funeral, shows how honoring those who came before us is vital. Faithfulness to promises. Joseph kept his word to his father even in the face of great logistics and personal cost. Integrity includes honoring our commitments, especially those made to loved ones. 3. Forgiveness and healing. Despite past betrayal, Joseph chose forgiveness over revenge. His weeping showed emotional depth, and his words showed maturity and trust in God's plan. God's sovereignty. Joseph recognized that even though his brothers intended harm, God used their actions for a greater purpose. This perspective brings peace and helps transform pain into purpose. Reassurance and compassion. Joseph didn't just forgive, he reassured his brothers and spoke kindly to them. True forgiveness includes a willingness to restore relationships, not just remove grudges. 6. Hope and legacy. Joseph died with hope in God's promise, ensuring his people would remember where they truly belonged. Even in death, he pointed forward to God's faithfulness. Unity in family and community. The united journey to bury Jacob, joined by Egyptians and Hebrews alike, illustrates respect across cultures and generations. Honor and grief can bring people together,